if any news from OutSystem, all the things will come as a newsletter every day. You can subscribe it. So for subscribing, you have to go to this URL in your profile, right? So this is the URL. If you go to your profile settings under the notification, these are the options are available. So developer newsletter you can on, and not only daily, you can set for weekly also. So weekly, archive also will come to your mailbox. You can learn and know more about what is happening in the OutSystem community. This is the one way of staying up to date in the community. And so please follow the OutSystem community page if you want to be up to date. And also please follow this OutSystem tag. So every day when you open the LinkedIn, you can come to know what is happening in the OutSystem, and around, not only in India, around the globe. And also you can join OutSystem groups. There are many groups are available, and every day they are posting some new session information, and new tips. So if you just to search OutSystem and filter with the groups, there are so many links are available, so many groups are available. You can join, and you can get the update immediately in your LinkedIn itself. And OutSystem Developer School. So OutSystem Developer School is for the other developers, right? For example, if your friend is very good in .NET, and if you feel right, so if he learn OutSystem, it will be very helpful for his future, right? So the developer school is the right platform. So for the developer school, the experienced developer can join. It is free, right? And they will get the expert training from OutSystem. Okay, and every day the training will happen. So totally 10 days the training will happen. So after that they will provide a coupon for reactive OutSystem developer. So the training, in the training mainly they will cover reactive concept, reactive OutSystem development. So if you want to refer your friends, you can refer that. And this is very limited edition. So if you open this link, right, if currently no edition is available, no need to worry. You can just, if you scroll down to the page, you can just subscribe to the this portal, so that whatever upcoming edition is coming, right, so you will get the notification in your mail, so that you can refer your friends and help others. And job board, and if you are looking for OutSystem jobs, and right, no, not only that, so what other companies are expecting from the candidate, right? So if you know that, you can learn more things as well. So if you want to know more about what is happening in the OutSystem area, right, so you can go to this one, outsystem.com/community/jobs. You can even enable the job alert also if you're actively looking for a job, or you can just read the job description, and understand what is very expected things from the employer. Okay, what are the areas you have to focus, you have to learn more, you can understand. And these are the some of program I mentioned. So this is champions link, this is the MVP and ideas. So if you feel, whenever you are developing, if you feel, if this feature is available in our system, it will be very helpful, right? So you can post your ideas in here. So so our system will implement, they will immediately reply to your idea. And if they feel it is okay, it will really help other developer, they will implement your idea. If your idea got implemented, it will increase your profile score also. So you can submit your ideas here. And outsystem.com.forums, we all know. So if you have any technical question, you can just go to that URL using the search box, you can search it and immediately find an answer. And if you want to submit your question also, you can submit it immediately. The MVP and other senior developer experts will immediately answer your question. So these are the community activities what our system doing. Apart from that, there is a our system research program. You can join this research program as well. So if you feel, if you want to see the update, our system update, and you want to give your suggestion or your thoughts to our system, you can participate in the research program. So they will So if you participate, you can get the rewards also. So you will get some coupon from our system. So you can, if you want to search, if you want to learn more about it, you can go to this URL outsystem.com, our community/research program, and you can enroll yourself for the research program. Yeah. So today coming to the session, so we all know the rules. So you can't unmute, you can't switch on the video. So whatever questions you are getting during the technical session, right? You can put it in the chat. So once the session is over, we will address, we will read your question, we will give the solution, we will give the answer for that. And yeah, this meeting will be recorded as I said before, and within a week, 3 4 days, or within a week, we will surely upload it in the YouTube, and we will embed the video in the same event page. So the link whatever you used for registration, right? So in the same link you can see the video. If you want to share it with your friends, you can, please, you can share it. Also, after this session, you will get the feedback. So, feedback form, you can submit your feedback. Not only that, if you want to submit a feedback, you can reach out to me or Sahiba or Krishnambal, Jerome, and Shyamini is here. You can reach out to anyone, okay, and you can share your feedback. Your feedback is always welcome. And also, if you want to host a session, or if you want to speak about one session, you are always welcome. Please reach out to me or Krishnambal or Sakiba. We will make a arrangement for that. So please reach out to us and share your opinions and suggestions. And yeah, so about me, I'm an OutSystem champion, one of the OutSystem champion, and I'm having 6+ years of experience in OutSystem. And yeah, I really love OutSystem, and I really love to solve complex problem. And yeah, I actually, the past 2+ years I am contributing to the OutSystem user group, and I want to do more for the community. And Krishnambal, co-organizer, she's an MVP, OutSystem MVP. And yeah, so maybe in the future session she will join us, and she will talk about the ODC, I think the next one. And yeah, and today I'm having Shriyamini with me. So she is also one of the volunteer of Home System Chennai group. She is helping me for organizing the session and etc. Really thanks for your time, Shriyamini. And about the speaker, today we are having Adarsh Chaudhary, CEO and co-founder of Honor WebTech. Actually, I'm really lucky. I got a chance to work with others in one of my previous project. I really learned a lot from him, especially in BPT timers, etc. So I that's why I thought this is the correct person for this session. So he's an OutSystem certified trainer. He's also an OutSystem champion. He has successfully trained over 1,000 professional, and he's showcasing unparalleled expertise in grooming individual in OutSystem skill. He stand and yeah, and currently he's the CEO of Ano WebTech. Really, we are very happy to have you here, others. Thanks for your time. Thanks for for taking for thanks for your time and your effort for delivering the session. And surely the participant will learn more about BPT from your session. Yeah, really. Once again, thanks for you. And yeah, let's start the session. Over to you, others. The stage is
Okay.
yours.
First of all, thank you, Hatimari, for the introduction.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you. You can share your screen, Adarsh. I'll
yeah,
stop.
I'll check the
One
screen.
sec. Okay, the recording is started. Yeah, please share your screen, Adarsh.
Sharing it. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay, we can start. Okay, so today we will be discussing about BPT and light BPT. And the interesting thing is, I selected this topic, and Hatimari has given me that opportunity to give you training on this topic. And the good thing is, this topic is I mean, people used to think that this topic is very hard, but this topic is very easy. But the point is, which we will be discussing today also, that where to use BPT. First of all, we need to understand how BPT evolved, how BPT came into picture, and then we need to think that how in our project we will use it. Where at what point we have to use business process, where we need not to use business process. So we'll be discussing that. Okay. Uh, these are the content, these are the topics which we will be discussing. To start with,
Sorry, others. So if you want to share your video, you can share.
share my video. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that's better.
yeah, others. Please continue.
Okay. Uh, Let me start again. Huh. So we were discussing about the content we'll be discussing. So content I structured in such a way that first of all how BPT came into picture, and I can see there are many participants who might be very new to BPT, who might be not be into the proper development of OutSystems. So this session will be targeting to every one of you. You will understand how synchronous process start, how asynchronous processes works, then how asynchronous processes we use in OutSystems, and then we are more towards business process, and then we'll be discussing about all the flows of business process. There are many elements. There are around 7 to 8 elements which we'll be discussing here, and callbacks, and at the end we'll be discussing about light PPT. So this is what the content. We can start. So before starting BPT, let's leave BPT aside. Let's talk about synchronous processes. What are synchronous processes? We used to learn a lot about traditional application versus reactive application. In OutSystem, if we are going to create application, we have an option to create traditional, then reactive. Maybe in OutSystem 10.9, we were creating only traditional. So the transformation from synchronous to asynchronous came. So let's talk about synchronous process. What is synchronous process? You can see a telephone booth at the right. This telephone booth says that one person can enter at a time. You can see if you have to make a call, you have to enter inside. Other people, let's say 10 people have to make a call to some of their family members. What they will do, one person will enter, the person who comes first, he will enter first, he'll have the call. Other people will be waiting for that call, for that person to come out, and then next person will come. So that is a synchronous process in a layman term. That's a synchronous process. Now, I have to open the notepad to make you understand. This session is not only about providing training on slides or something, we'll be doing more towards practical. So, here we have, let's say we have a browser. This is our browser. If we are calling, if let's say I have a login screen, I clicked on a login button, what happened? A request goes to the server, server creates the page, server creates the page and gives it back to the browser. This is what the flow. Now in this complete flow, who is server? Server works asynchronously. Server is the one who creates the page, server is the one who gets the request. Now in the server, all the requests are synchronous. If 10 requests came, all the 10 requests will work synchronously, one by one. First process, I mean, first page will be built. Then once that page is delivered, the next page will be built. That page will be delivered. This is how synchronous process worked. So you can see in the slide also, all the server actions are synchronous. We all are from OutSystem community and we know what is server actions. So server actions are synchronous. Why? Because server works on synchronous behavior only, no other option. And when we talk about client action, they are asynchronous. They works asynchronously. We will be discussing asynchronous behavior in the next slide, but this is how synchronous works. Now in web application, navigation is also synchronous, navigating from one place to one page to another. Clicking on a button, as I told you, when I clicked on login button, request goes to the server. That is synchronous, one at a time. Server handle it and send it back the response, and browser receives the response and renders a new page. Okay, this is what the flow. And this is what the traditional flow. It happens, I mean, since ages it is happening that request goes to the server, server creates the page, send it back to the browser. This is how every time our internet world and this web world used to work. So this is what the synchronous process is, and telephone booth is the right example. So after understanding synchronous process, let's talk about asynchronous process. Synchronous one by one, asynchronous you can say parallelly. They execute, there are multiple processes which get executed but at the same time. Asynchronous process tasks do not depend on each other's outcome and can therefore occur on different execution flow, meaning they have their own flow. You can see an example right there. Here I have put in my card or my letter. Someone else has put in their letter. Someone else has put in their letter. All the letters are there, and they process asynchronously. How? A person or a person who used to deliver that letter, that person comes to this letter box. He will take all the letters. He will distribute that letters to all the delivery people, and all the delivery people will work parallelly. They will deliver that letter parallelly, one by one. I mean, to other people, it will be delivered parallelly. This means this process is asynchronous. So this is what the asynchronous process in the layman term. In the layman term, when we talk about out systems, we have, although in the slide you can see out systems, if we want any process to be asynchronous, we are saying process and timers. But the client side processes such as client actions, they also work asynchronously. But because this session is more towards processes, so we'll be discussing about processes, and we'll say that the asynchronous process are processes as well as timer. Okay, so let's talk about mobile application also. In the application, screen rendering and data fetching. Not only in mobile, now in reactive also, screen fetching is and screen rendering are asynchronous. What does that mean? We have seen Gmail page. In the Gmail page, at the top we have the text box. At the right we have inbox, outbox, sent button, all these buttons, and at the center we have all of our mails. Now that process, that screen rendering is asynchronous. How I'm saying this? Because let's say you click on sent button. What actually happened? Request goes to the server. While server is processing that request, while server is getting all your inbox data, page is loaded. You can see the page in front of you. You can click on outbox button, you can click on anything, you can click on a text box and you can write whatever you want to do in text box. Meanwhile, server is processing the data and he's giving data to the page. Once we get the data to the page, page will render that. Screen rendering is what getting data and process it and show it onto the screen. So that screen rendering is done asynchronously. Asynchronously with respect to the page. Page loaded first, and then asynchronously that particular part, the center part, got processed. So this is what we are saying with screen rendering and data fetching. It could be with maybe reactive application as well as mobile application. Now in OutSystems, not only in OutSystem, let's talk about in generic terms. Server is synchronous. As I told you, in any case, server is synchronous. But there is a requirement. Let's say there is a requirement from a client saying that I want an asynchronous process. Can you achieve that from the server? Let's take a scenario of HRMS. Let's say we have an HRMS, and in that HRMS we have a request where people used to say that one person, let's say a company has 50 members, and 30 members of them has applied for a leave. Now let's say I have applied for a leave. That leave request goes to my manager. Once my manager will approve it, my CTO will approve and then will process. Same time, one of my colleague has also applied for that leave. Then other 30 people also have applied for the leave. Everyone have their own flow. Everyone have their own flow. I mean, my request is to my manager and my CTO. Other people have their own request to their own manager and CTO. So this is the parallel processing which we have to achieve. And because this process is more towards data driven, I mean, we need manager data, we need all the CTO data, whatever data I want, I have to process that from the browser only, sorry, from the server only. From the browser I can't. Why? Because let's say I have applied for leave and I closed my browser. I don't want my leave process to be stopped if I close the browser. No, I want my leave process to be continued if I close my browser or not. So this means I want asynchronous process at the server. Now to have asynchronous process at the server end, and from the starting I'm saying server runs synchronously. To make it asynchronous, we have processes and timers. So I hope you understood now when to use process and timer. Whenever you want asynchronous process at the server end, use processes and timers. So more detail about timers and processes. As I said, timers and processes are asynchronous. But when I'm saying I want an asynchronous process to be executed, why I have two options? Why don't I have only one option? The reason is uh, timer have their own task, have their own capabilities. Process have their own capabilities. We'll be discussing about the capability of processes, and I can make sure that after this session, you'll be very good in creating BPT process. Okay, so but still, let's talk a little bit about timers and then jump to the process. Timers, there is a scenario. Let's again talk about a scenario. There are many scenarios about timers. Almost all the project use timers. I mean, most of you are developers, and you might have seen that many processes are done via timer. Let's take a quick recap of that. Saying that, let's take a scenario where. Uh, okay, let's say that there is an application we have created, and in that application every day we will get around 1000 record. And the requirement is every day at the end of the day, maybe at 12 o'clock in the night, I want some code to get executed, through which all the records which are older records, maybe a week old record or a month old record, should be moved to another table, an archive table. So that process where we want only one thread to execute, I mean, once I want at 12 o'clock every day, that process will execute. Freezed. Time is also freezed, and thread is also freezed, that only one time it will execute. For that, I will use timer. Now let's talk about processes, and we'll be deep down into process. A process, I have already given you the example. First of all, if we want multiple threads to be executed at the same time, example, many people have applied for leave, and now to approve that leave, many different managers will act on it. So that will run. First of all, there are many threads which are running. Second, there is no specific time on which that particular process will execute. That process will execute based on the action I will take. If I apply leave, that process will start. If manager approves it, some process will get executed, some activity get executed. Then a CTO approved it, some other activity get executed. In the next few slides, you will understand what all are the activities which get executed if the process will move to the next step. Will understand that. But most main purpose of explaining this slide is that when to use process, when to use timer. Okay, so and one more thing I need to share that, as Hatimari also said, that I have given training to many people, more than 1,000 people, and I'm in OutSystems since last 8 years. So I have given many trainings on BPT, and I can sense many different type of questions, many type of doubts comes into the mind of the developers. So I have all these questions handy with me. So what happened? Whenever I will be discussing any topic, I'll be picking that questions, because few questions are very generic. I mean, 90% people think about that, so I'm covering that part also. Okay, so coming back to the process, we have process which there are two different type, although multiple type of activity we can execute, but majorly two different type of activities, you can say. First is human intervention. I mean, somebody have to apply leave, somebody have to approve, then somebody have to some senior person have to approve. Some human intervention is needed in that case. Okay, that is called human activity. We'll be discussing next slide. Automatic activity, there are few automatic things. I don't want any human intervention. Automatically this process will get executed. So that is automatic activity, which we'll be discussing. So this is how our process will get executed, the process we will use. So now let's talk about this business process only. The flow of activities. The example which I said, that is a flow of activity. There is a flow in that activity. There is a process in the activity. That's why it is called business process technology. There should be, if you are applying, if you are implementing BPT, you must know that you must know the business of your project, and you must understand if there is any flow, if there is mainly it is used in approval flows, but yeah, if you have any flows in your project, you can use BPT. Now with this I remember few of the questions. One person said that we can do this without BPT also. We can do this. Definitely yes, we can. I mean, whatever activity I need to do, I want somebody to approve, I can create a screen, I can have a database, I can have a button. When a person clicks on the button in the database, it will approve. Why do we need BPT? So maybe towards the end of this session, you will get this answer. Step by step, I will give that answer. So I I think you might be getting that question in your mind. So just want to clear that we'll be discussing that part also. Fine. So now BPT, what I said, a process. We'll execute a process using BPT. Now, how to trigger that BPT? How to trigger that BPT? That is very important. We'll be doing that practically. But how to trigger it? Let's first of all let's think when I want to trigger it. I want that whenever person applies for a leave, that there should be a button, apply leave. When I click on that button, at that time, I want my BPT to get executed, to start. Basically, the execution starts when I click on that button. So this is how we can trigger the BPT. So there are two ways we can trigger the BPT. First is on the click of the button, I can directly drag drop the BPT. I'll show you practically. Second option is I have a property called launch on. In that, I'll say create or the name of the table. This means that whenever a new entry is created in any of the database table which you have decided, this BPT launches. In the same example, when I click on apply leave, there is an entry happened inside the database table. Let's say the name of the table is leaves. So whenever there is new entry happens, new entry executed or created in that leaves table, we have written a logic in BPT that whenever there is a new entry in that table, the BPT will start its execution. So this is how BPT will start. Okay. Uh, if you want, we can read the BPT process is a sequence of activity that run in the background and can be initiated on demand or triggered by database event. That's what I said. On demand means maybe on the button click, I directly drag drop the BPT. And by database event, excuse me, by database event means when I create any entry in the table, the BPT starts executing. So this is how we will start the BPT. I think I should go to the next slide. You cannot unmute, so I cannot hear saying that, okay, you got it, but fine. Uh, let's actually, I'm in habit of listening that, okay, we got it, you can jump to the next slide. So, yeah, we can jump to the next slide. So, finally, we came to a point where we are seeing the activities in BPT. These are the activities. Now I'm sure that you might be thinking, why activities, what is activities, how what we will do with this activity. I'll tell you. Whatever business we need to achieve, whatever task we need to achieve, in order to achieve that task, OutSystem has given us these many activities to help you out to solve that. Every activity have their purpose. Okay, let's say my purpose is that manager should approve it. So for I want manager should get a task box where he can approve it. For that, I'll use human activity. I want that, let's say it took around 10 days, manager has not approved it. I want it should send an email. For that, I have a wait activity. So I have many different activities which will help you to build your code, and everything, whatever you want in your business, in your code, it will be done via your via these activities. So I mean, if we understood these activities, we are done with BPT. The other things are theory. Other things are theory. If we are very good with these activities, because obviously we know our business, we know what we want to achieve. It's just that we must know how to achieve it with the help of these activities, and these are very simple. Every activity has its purpose, and they are simple. So before jumping to the next slide, let me directly jump to the service studio and show you where these activities will be listed and how these will be seen. So let me create a new process. If I need to create a new process, start a new activity to be started, I'll say add process, name it anything. I have all the activity. These activities will help me to build my logic here. This is what these activities are all about. Okay, so in this complete section, we will be creating a BPT, and OutSystem has already given us an expense portal. I mean, there is a business they have already created. There are 3 or 4 pages they have already created to help us to learn, and that particular application demands all these activities. So if we try to achieve that here, you will come across with all these activities. Okay, so first of all, let's see that slide and then directly jump to the practical part. Actually, I'm more towards doing that practically, because theory you can get from OutSystem training module also. But practical exposure, which I need to give you, will be doing that. First of all, before understanding practical, let's try to understand what is human activity. You have seen many activities, so I'm picking the human activity, which is the most important activity. This is the human activity. Human activity, as I rightly said, that if somebody has to enter into the application and do some activity, if you have that type of business requirement, go ahead, use human activity. So you can see enables user interaction using a screen where end user will have to complete the task. It will not complete automatically. You have to complete. End user have to complete. So in that we have these many properties. Let's directly jump to the practical, and let's use it. But before using it, let's think about the business. What I want, first of all, okay, whatever you are doing, first of all, you must know what you are doing actually. You must know what is the business you want to achieve. So let's talk about that. uh, in this particular scenario which I am doing it, OutSystem has given us that application. That application says that one employee has raised a request which is expense request. Let's say I'm an employee of a company and I want an headphone. My headphone is broken. I want an headphone. So I'll apply that headphone in this application. I'll say this many amount, this many, these many things I want. I'll click on OK. My manager will approve, and then my finance team will approve. So 3 steps. I will apply, I will request, or I will submit my expense, and then it will be approved by 2 steps. This is what we'll be achieving throughout this session. So let's talk about that. For that, let's create a BPT process. I have created a BPT process. Let me rename it to ex- expense. Okay, let's leave it like this. Okay, I have this BPT with me. I've created this BPT. As of now, this is blank. Okay, now when I said if I have created a BPT, I must know when it will launch, when it will start. Okay, in my scenario, when I want it to be started, whenever any employee comes into the application and apply for a request, apply for any gadget. So if he wants that, he will click on apply button. When he click on apply button, we have created a new record inside the database table. So what we will do, we have a property called launch on. What I did, I clicked on BPT and I have launch on button. I can see create expense report. So when I do this, what actually happened is whenever there is a new entry created in expense report table, this BPT will start automatically, because on the launch on I have given this table. And now it's my duty that when I want a new entry in this table, and as per this project is already created. So as per this particular project, whenever any employee submits the expense, the new entry is created in the expense report table. So it will be launched. Let's see that. Let's see that. Now, how can I know? I mean, let's say somebody has applied for that. How do I know who has applied? How do I know that when BPT has started? I should know that. I should know that, and I will get it from service center. Let me open that service center also. Let me open service center. Okay. In the service center, I'll go into the factory. I'll say modules, expense. If you have any questions, any confusion, you can comment. If I As of now, okay. So I have few questions, but we'll see that at the end. So you can post the comment. Yeah. Uh, let's jump back. Process log. Okay. So here we are discussing on that approval. We have created expense. This is the report we have created, and as of now, nothing is there. And let's go to OutSystems. And when I open this, I have to log in here. Log in as an employee. New expense report. Save. Okay. And let me submit it to. This is what I did in my application. So on the click of the submit, a new entry is created inside the table. And when new entry is created inside the table, this business process will get executed. So you can see I have started, business process has started. It is in the close status. You can see start and end. It will start and then end. Okay. So because I have only started end, but this process has started, we are sure about it. We can see the comment. Now the question is that question where you say that we can do it by our own, but this feature of getting at what time that started, at what time it is closed, what is the status, and all these things, you cannot have it by your own. You even have either have to build a complete separate page where you have to maintain all the history, all the log. But if we are using BPT, we can use it directly. We can see that directly. Okay. Uh, let's jump to next. Fine. Start and end. Now let's talk about what I want. What I want. I want that already I have already submitted a report to the manager. Now manager should approve it. Let's talk about that. When I say a human intervention needed, a manager should come and he will approve it. This means a manager is a human who is intervening into the application. So we need a human activity. First of all, we need a human activity for person who have created the requests, created the thing. So I'll say when I drag drop human activity, I have these many options to play with. Okay. So here, let's talk about user. I want this human activity to be executed for the employee who have submitted the expense report. Uh, so I have to give that access to the user. Either I will give it here or I will give it here. If I do it here, this means I'm assigning this human activity to group of people. When I say employee, this means all the employees are eligible to act on it. If I say register, everyone can act on it. But in this case, what happened with me is I want that this human activity will be executed only for that person who have submitted the request. So for that, I have another option, user. So there are two ways to assign this human activity to a user. One is via roles. Second is directly give the user. So let's give directly the user. I have already given that a person who have created the request in the database table is the person who get this human activity. Okay. So this is what we understood, user and roles. Now next property is close on. Close on means when I want this activity to be closed so that we can jump to the next part. From this human activity to next activity, if I want to move, I have to close this activity. So I will close it. When do I want this activity to be closed? When that person who have created the request has submitted his expense detail. So when he has submitted, we have a table. I mean, you don't know about table, you need not to know about that table. You just try to understand that expense report is a table where all the entry, create, update is happening. Now, whenever a new entry is created, this PPT has started. Whenever person has submitted his request, update happened in this table with status submitted. So with this submitted status, this particular request, now this particular human activity will be closed whenever report status is submitted. Okay, it will be closed. Other things, I'll tell you, skip, allow skip. This will allow us to skip this activity. Start date, from date from which you need to see that activity, you would want this activity to be started. Due date, till when you want that activity, while other destination and all we'll see in future things. Okay, so this is how this activity started. Let me publish this. Let's see how this activity works and how we can see this activity in the this okay in this service center. Let me log in again. New expense report. Let's say you want to order a desktop. Save. Let's see how it will react. Okay, the next activity. See, status is active. Let's see what is happening inside. Here, it started, and this human activity started. because we have already defined that person has submitted, human activity is started, and to the user, this employee has started this activity. Okay, and when this activity will be closed, we said submitted. So let's see. Let's submit the report. I submitted the report. Let me refresh this. See, it is closed. Why? Because I have already given this status in closure. So this is how our human activity has started. Let me put another human activity. This time, this time I want manager to approve. Manager approval. Here again, this particular request will go to the user. I mean, the person who is going to approve this. So this is the first approver and close on. This is important. Now, when do you want this activity to be closed? Whenever this is submitted is fine. Now, one person has approved it. It is not finally approved, so it is in processing status. And here I have given user, and here I have checked all. Now here I want to discuss one more thing here. What I said in the starting when we were discussing about user, if I want this activity to be assigned to a particular user, I will use this user property. If I want every any of the request assigned to the group of user, I'll use this particular part. But if I have given a user here and I did like this, this means that the user, this we try to understand this. This means that this user, let's say here, Mary Jane came. That Mary Jane should be the manager, expense portal manager. If that person is not an expense portal manager, that activity will not be assigned. So he should be both manager as well as this. It will satisfy this condition as it must contain the name in the first approval. Okay, so this is how it is. It's manager approval. Let's jump to let's say okay, have we given close on? Yes, we have given close on. Let's say this time who finance approval. This time let's do this. Let's say anyone from finance team will do it. I don't want any particular user to approve. Anyone from the finance team will approve. So in that case, this particular part, I will only use this checkbox and I will not write any user here. In the close on, I'll give update, and here the status is approved. So three statuses: submitted, pending, approved. So in these three cases, it will close. So this is how human activity will work. In the human activity, we have few more things, but we'll be discussing in the future. But in the broader sense, we are done with human activity. This is how it is. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to process. Let's see how it reacts. Let's see how we will see that here. Okay, log out is this employee. Let's log in with some other employee. New expense report. Headphone. Save. Person has submitted it. Let me submit the report to Mary Jane. Submit. Let's go with Mary Jane. Mary Jane must see that in their Okay, here, from here I will approve it. Okay, then I'll go with finance. Again, I'll go to my approval, try to approve it. Let's see how we will see that here. A new request. See the flow. Start. You can see here also. Start human activity one, manager approval, finance approval, and end. See, start goes to human approval, then manager approval, and then finance approval, and finally end. All the status are closed and things are done. Nothing is in open status. We are done with the flow. So this is how our human activity will work. Uh, I have seen many problem in working with human activity, but this is so simple. As simple as this example, and you can see the duration for which that request is pending, for which manager, close date, start date, and all. Okay, let's see another activity. Automatic activity quickly. This is the heavy activity, while others are very easy. Let's talk about automatic activity. Let's talk about a business scenario. Then we'll see how we will add it. The business scenario is finance person has approved it. So now disburse the payment if finance has approved. So let's do that disbursement. For disbursement, there is no human intervention needed. Once finance has approved, disbursement must be done automatically. So we have written an automatic activity, and in this automatic activity, we have an action which is exactly similar to the server action. All the activities, or you say widgets, these are widgets. So all the widgets, all the things which are helpful in building logic in server action are here in automatic activity also. So I'll say I'll have a server action. So for disbursement, one server action disbursement, and another server action status change. So in the disbursement action, it is already been written that the ID, and here we have this ID and disbursement done, and it is being reimbursed. Okay, let's go back. First flow is completed. Human activity for human intervention. This activity is called uh, finance. What we have written, reimbursement is done, and you can see reimbursement is done from here. We have written logic. So this is all about automatic activity. Let's go back to slide, and the next slide is all about automatic activity. Let's talk from here. In this automatic activity, we have, first of all, new human intervention. We have a start date. We have a server action flow, and we have a scope. I mean, this flow. This is the flow, and this is the scope under which this particular flow will execute. Okay. Uh, let's start with the next step. Quick one. Let's go back to practical. Now, let's take an example as I need to reject it, or let's say a person has submitted a request. Some a manager is yet to approve, and that person feel like I don't want this process to execute. I got my headphone was lost, and I got my headphone. I don't want this to be executed now. This means that conditionally, at some condition, I need to start a new flow, which says that I need to terminate the process. I need to break the process. I have already raised a reimbursement request, but I want to terminate that because I got what I want. So in order to do that, in order to start something on condition, we have conditional start. Okay, and in the conditional start, I'll say I'll write something and I'll end the process. Okay, and here in the conditional start, this says, this ask, this condition start, when I drag drop this condition start, it says that tell me when to start. We have to tell him that look, you have started here, but when this particular activity gets started, we have to tell from where, from start on. From start on, what I will do, I'll say update expense report, and I will say rejected. You cancelled. Sorry, it's not rejected, it's cancelled. So whenever request got cancelled, this conditional start will get executed. But the point is, it has to start some point. Now, I mean, look, this particular flow will only execute when human activity, when this particular person has submitted the request. If he has not submitted the request, what he will cancel? So this means that somebody has submitted it, then only this process will start. This will start. Although we can do that. If I leave it like this condition start, this will continuously watch the application. Whenever BPT started, it will start watching the application. But I don't want this particular part to watch the application until any person has submitted the reimbursement expense report. So for that, we have option like this. Now, now this particular conditional start will only start when reimbursement request is raised. So it has started. I said this has started. In the human activity, whatever I want to write, I can. I mean, maybe I need to notify my manager. So there is one action called notify manager. Notify manager. Okay, and notify manager expense product. So this is how conditional start will work. Here, end. What do I want? What actually will happen when this end will reach? It will go to the next step. It will not end. This complete BPT will end when both the end will reached. Either both the end will reach, or you will make terminate as yes. So now, if you reach to this point, the complete BPT stopped because I made terminate process a yes. Okay. So this is how terminate process and then end. So this is how conditional start will work. Okay. Okay. Let's see that how it will say this conditional start, how it is listening. We will see that it is continuously watching the application, but because of this line, it will not watch the application until the request is submitted, which is important. Expense report. Okay. Let me see the latest one. Look, human activity started. Okay, it is ready. There is no conditional start with has started. Now let's go here. Mary Jane. Now let's see. Look, conditional start listening. This listening says key conditional start has started and is continuously listening the application. Whenever conditional start feels that his condition is reached, it will process. Okay, it is listening only, and it is to manager approval. It is to manager approval now. Submitted. This is the one I have submitted. Okay, and let me cancel this report. I have cancelled that report. Let's see what happened. Manager has not approved the request. Conditioner start was listening, and suddenly it got closed, and that activity which is written under conditional start got executed and terminated. After termination, nothing will happen. With no other process will get executed because it is terminated now. Okay. So we have seen this, this, and this. These three are we are done with. Let's talk about this. This is also very easy and very quick. Let's say that you have lot of human activity, lot of manual activities. Things are clumsy. Why don't we create a separate process for separate? I mean, separate type of functionality. Let's see. Let's see how we create. Let's create it a separate managers approval. This is the BPT I've started. When I want this particular part to be launched, I want that this manager and finance approval will not be done here. It will be done here. Okay, it will be done here and expense. Fine. I have removed this and let me drag drop manager approval here. Okay. Now manager approval is a BPT process, but this is not the process which get launched whenever there is new request is created, because whenever new request is created, this BPT will launch because this human activity is here only. But still, we need an input parameter which is expense report ID. Expense report ID. Okay, and here we have to provide that. Okay, quickly discuss on why we are using this ID. Look, as I told you, it will process multiple requests at the same time. This particular BPT will execute multiple processes at the same time. Now, every time if there is any process is started or it is at some stage, this OutSystems and BPT have to take that record, have to have some record in it. There should be a table where they are recording everything, that okay, this is the report and this is how it works. So this you can see this ID will distinguish that. This ID will distinguish each and every thread. So that's why we have input parameter as expense report ID, and it get automatically created when I launch on, and when I have given the name of the table, this ID is automatically created. Here I have to create because on the this particular BPT is not launched. I mean, nobody is calling it from the database. It is calling it from here. So now what happened? My approval. Okay. With this, there is one more point I need to mention: parallelism, parallel processing. You cannot do it via server action. This is a very genuine question by the developers that why don't we use server action instead of BPT? Why don't we use server action to do all the activity which BPT can? We can any day we can. But BPT makes our life easy. This is how. This way, what we are doing is manager and finance approver both can approve at the same time. Both can approve at the same time. But with this screen, you must see that we have two end. Let's say manager has approved it, but finance person has not approved. What will happen in that scenario? This BPT, this particular process will not end. And if it will not end, it will not go to here, will not reach here. So this BPT will stay there until both of them have approved. But what I want this, if finance approval has approved it, this end to be terminated. This end should be in such a way that this end is need not to be executed. So I'll make it terminate true. And when I say this, now parallel people will get the requested one. Okay. With the sake of time, let me do a bit more faster. Uh, let's we have to understand these activities before moving forward. Uh, okay. Here we have one more widget called. I hope everyone might have understood the parallel processing end and terminate. Now comes decision. Okay. Here I need to make a decision. Here yeah, I need to. Let's make a decision here. Whatever I want. Whatever I want. Let me take a decision here. Let's say that I need to take a decision that whether the request is approved or rejected. Whatever I need to do. I can add this decision here. The if else which you are thinking, which is there in our system, that if else is little bit different in a way that here we have complete logic to write to make the decision. And the good thing is you can have multiple end here, not only two. It's not only about yes and no. You can have anything. You can n number of outcomes. So whatever I need to do, I can do it here, and quickly I'll move forward. True, and whatever I'll say decision on me. Okay. Maybe this is how decision will be made, and decision is given to this. This part will what it will do. It will give it this to this, and yes to this, and no to this. We can have a number of outcomes. As of now, we have only two because we have added only two, but we can have a number of outcomes. This is what the decision is. Wait, as I told you, if I need to wait for some activity to get executed, example here, let's say that I have added wait here, and wait, I will, okay, here, close on. Look, you are using wait. This means application is stopped and it is waiting. Waiting till when? Till it is closed. Otherwise, it will be hard to find out. Basically, till timeout occurs. So timeout add minutes, current date time, and it's one. So I have added minute in current date time. Okay. So this is how it will get executed. If manager and finance approval has taken time more than 1 minute, so this process will execute, it will end. Now whatever I need to do here, I can. Whatever I need to do, I can. So this is all about these activities which we can use anytime. Okay, this is and BPT is all about these activities. BPT is all about applying your business using these activities. Have your business using these activities. Okay, so we have done this. Let's come back to the slide. So we have already discussed about conditional start, I mean, I have not used this word sub process, but this is called sub process. I'm calling one process from another. So you have seen that calling process. There are two ways to call a process. First is via uh, this launch on. Second is directly drag and drop it here. And whenever this point reach, this particular activity will start. Okay, uh, that is called sub process. Terminated and we have already seen. Decision making we have seen. Okay, callbacks. Before that, what I have to say, we are done with one part, is BPT, which is the most important and which is the most practical part. Okay, so let's talk about the next activity. Next thing which we are doing is callbacks. We all are from OutSystem fraternity. We know that whenever, let's talk about this activity callback. We know whenever there is any page loads, there are few events occurs. Okay, uh, on initialize event, ready event, render event, all these events occur right in the sequence. Destroy event at the end. So in the sequence that will occur. Same way in this also, this BPT also, some event occur. With every event, you have event handler to execute. Let's say I want to add a validation if I'm closing any activity. If I'm closing any activity, I want to add a validation. Or if I am when my activity is ready to execute, at that time I want any user to play a critical role in that, so I can write that logic. So these are the activity, I mean there these are the activities, callback activities or events, you can say, which will get execute whenever human activity will run. Whenever human activity will run, it will create the render, then open, closing, and closed. You have seen closed many times in the section where we are showing the history of that. Same way for wait, we have separate waiting, closing, and for conditional start, because this conditional start will again start. I mean, listening will completely start until all the process has executed, until end reached. Till then, it will continuously listen the application. So these are the things, and let's see that practically also. For BPT, for process, we have few actions which are process, ready, activity, online, open, start, close, skip. These are the activity which will get executed. If you want to perform any operation in between the activity, you can pick that. Then we have human activity. On the right click of human activity, you can see ready, open, close. So in the case of ready, open, and close, you can okay, you can see add on skip is enabled now. So we have one, two, three, four. Four events which will get executed whenever this human activity will get executed. Now it's up to you what you want as per your business requirement. If you want to use this callback action or not, you can. If you have knowledge, you can. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about light PPT. Uh, actually, what happened is uh, when I was seeing your messages, somebody has given me. Okay, but I have to give. Okay, there are many questions. Let's. I have one question which usually people used to ask, that how many thread will execute one at a time. I mean, at a time, how many threads will execute? So, light BPT. I was waiting for this slide to come. So, when we talk about light BPT, let's leave all these things. Let's talk about light BPT. What is light BPT? Uh, this BPT. Before starting that, I have one more point to mention. I have one more point to mention here. With every BPT, you can see there is one advanced thing called expose process entity. Here we have yes and no. If I say yes, what will happen? You can see a database table here. Database table here. Now, what this database table is helping OutSystems or helping this BPT to track everything. What is happening, what not. They have to track it. This is just you can say whatever you are seeing on the service center, you can get it from this only. So you are getting all the track from this particular thing. Let's go back to light process. So light process, the motive of light process, this is nothing but a BPT only. It's just a concept which we need to understand. uh, and purpose when we are using it. First of all, light, what is light process? Light process also works in the background. BPT also works in the background. Light process should be triggered from database event. Database event means that create event. We'll be calling this particular light process by that create event. Light process is best, obviously. Light process where it is best suited, when we want this particular process to get when we want this light process. How will we get this light process? I'll let you know what all are the criteria, what all are the characteristics of light process in the next slide. But when we want this light process, in which scenario it suits best. Okay, the scenario where you don't need tracking, you just need event driven process. You just need event driven process. You need a bulk processing of the data. Okay, there are thousands of events every day you want to process without any tracking. You can use this light process. Now let's talk about the difference between light process and the BPT. Here, 10 threads and 20 threads. So light process will execute 20 threads at a time. BPT will execute 10 threads at a time. Activities in light process, light BPT, you will have only one activity, which is automatic activity. And under the automatic activity, you have a screen like server action. You can write whatever you want. You can write the process where you are running the application. But if you can see running the particular task, but still you can see 3 minutes. And here we have 5 minutes. Okay, so BPT will execute. I mean, timeout. You can say timeout is 5 minutes in BPT, and in light BPT is 3 minutes. Callback actions, which we which we discussed, is there in BPT, but in light BPT we don't have. Output parameters, process logging means what we are seeing in the service center, you cannot see for light BPT. So characteristics, what should be there for light BPT? There should be one automatic activity, but only one automatic activity, nothing else. Second, that should be triggered through create event. Create event, I mean, create event, if there is any entry inside the database table, this automatic entry will start. Okay, no callback. Okay, depends upon the front end, but 20 parallel activity will per front end server will execute. Timeout will be 3 minutes, we discussed. For error, if there is any error came into this, it will retry. This automatic activity will retry the complete the same process again and again, and the interval will increase. Interval of execution will increase based on the front end server. In this particular interval will increase because it is retrying the error. Okay, so this is all about light process. Just want to show you practically uh, how to enable that. Look, if I want to build a light process, nothing. I'm creating a same process. Okay, same thing I'm doing. Just that I'm doing the same thing. Just that I can only add one activity, automatic activity. Under this here, I will write a lot of code. Whatever I want, I can write it. But yeah, I will use this. The important thing which I want to mention here is, give me a minute. Okay, could not see it here. Can we operations, yes. So under the operations, you have one option, light process execution. Enable a light wait execution of the business process, which is triggered by the entity event and composed by the single automatic activity. So this is the line which says it all. And if you enable it, you can make that process as light BPT. Now in the light BPT, you can see if I say any BPT, that BPT should have this no problem. I mean this particular database table should be no. I mean you cannot see that database table. This is all about light BPT. I think we are already above time. So thank you. I think Hatimeri.
That was that was a great session by Adarsh, and some of our folks actually asked 11 questions, 11 plus questions. You can answer, Adarsh.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. The first question is logging also asynchronous as its queue? This is the question.
Logging also. I
Uh,
can also see the comments, right?
yeah, in comments we have.
Okay. Is logging also asynchronous as it's queued? Is logging also asynchronous as it is queued? What does that mean? Okay. I got the question. Person might have to ask me that this logging. Let me open the login. What logging is talking about? Maybe he's asking that this is also asynchronous. Uh, this logging is not asynchronous. This logging is not asynchronous. Again, this BPT, the process which is executing internally. I mean, these things which are executing. I'll show you. These things. These are not asynchronous. These are running synchronously. It's just that this particular thread is running asynchronous. Okay. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, and the second question is how does BPT in OutSystem contribute to organizational productivity?
Okay. Again, the same example I have given that let's say there is an HRMS out this BPT has given us that productivity. Look, you can work without BPT also. You can have that server action. You can have that functionality to be achieved without server action. But the important thing is कि BPT will help you to build it quickly. Let's take that example, a .NET and out system. You can build the same application in .NET. You can build the same application in Java, but still you are building an out system. Why? Because the same thing what you are doing very quickly, you are doing efficiently, you have proper logging and everything. So this is why these things BPT we are using.
Okay. Next, Karthik Arora asked, is there a limit for how many active instance a process can have?
Yes, it's 20. I think I have shown that onto the screen also. It's for BPT it's 10, and for light BPT it's 20 for particular this server. I mean, what is front end server. So
And next is, why do we need a business process? We can do it via code also. Ridhima asked this question.
as I said, this is as already.
Yeah. That question is after Karthik.
Okay. Okay. Is there any limit on how many instances that is already done?
Why do we need a process? Can do it via code also. It's asked by Ridhima.
Yes.
Karthik Arora.
Okay. This is the question. Why do we need BPT if we can do it via? And I'll tell you. Main reason, I have already told that reason, but let me tell you again. The main reason is the speed with which you can build the BPT. You cannot build it via normal server action, normal logic. First. Second point is the logging which we did. If we are not doing it via our BPT, we have to do it, via our own page. We have to create our own page, and then all these things we have to do things. So these are the two main reasons why we are using BPT instead of server action.
Okay, then Rohan asked how to launch BPT on update database event. Rohan.
Okay. So look, light BPT you cannot. But in this, if my screen is shared, let me see. I have to. There is some option given. Just a second. Let's see. Actually, one more point I missed to say about, actually, because of lack of time, we have task box also. But fine. We have exposed this. Okay, quickly I'll tell you. This is an button. If I click on this expose button, and when I go here, I can see that. But as of now, I don't think we can launch a BPT via this update. But I have an idea. We can do that. How? We have a button. On the click of the button, you can update the record and you can launch the BPT manually. If you want, you can do that. This is how we can.
Yeah, okay, that's great. And Navini then asked how many timers can run parallelly, it can be increased.
Okay. So for one platform server, there are three timers who can run parallelly. Three timers. And if you want multiple timers, you have multiple action. I mean that platform server. Second is you have priorities also. So you can set the priority high, low, medium based on which they will execute. But three is the answer.
Okay, that's not great. And Rudima also asked another question. Client action is asynchronous and BPT is also asynchronous. So how it is different?
Okay. Okay, that's a great question. Uh, Client action is asynchronous, yes, and BPT is also asynchronous. But I just want to tell you, my screen is shared. Uh, I'll show you. This is a BPT. Anyone. This one. Let's talk about this. Okay. Here in the BPT, when I say it is asynchronous, that doesn't mean that this will execute, then this will execute. If this process is not completed, this will jump to this. No. If we are step by step, first this part will execute, then this will execute, then this will execute, then this will execute, then this is how the application will execute. This is not asynchronous, but the particular part which you have written in the code, that is not asynchronous. Asynchronous is in respect to, if you have multiple threads running, they will run asynchronously. But when I talk about client action, when you say client action, I have this client action. Here, let's say I have multiple server actions. Let's say I have three server actions. Anything. Let's say I have two server action. Start with this, then this, then this. Let's say this server action has not completed its execution, but still you will go to this. Let's say this server action has also not completed its execution. You again goes here and your page will display. Once this execution is completed, again page rendering will be done. So this client action is asynchronous, but with respect to these events, or you can say these widgets. But in the case of BPT, these events will run synchronously, but the threads will run asynchronously. So answers are going
So,
long. So
yeah.
I can put my LinkedIn URL, and if you want email ID, if you can email me, I will send emails because things are not.
Yeah, and some more question is there, and I will ask this as a last question, and we will go for a quiz. The
Okay.
question is why BPT and light BPT are asynchronous, and here I hear that the server side process always execute synchronized only.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Server side always execute synchronously. That is right. But there are some bad jobs requirement. There are always requirement where we want some process to be executed in the background. Okay. So let me explain you in this way that there is one server, two people comes to the server saying that, server, can you give me this page? One by one their requests are taken. But what BPT and timer are doing, they are running in the backend. Okay, they are running in the backend. They are not disturbing the application. Application is running synchronously with respect to server. But this particular BPT and timer are running in the backend, and that's why they are running with parallel. And again, let me go bit more deep. Servers have processors. Nowadays octa-core processor, and not only octa-core, there are many core processors are there. So those processors will execute parallelly, through which BPTs and all these things will get executed.
Okay, thank you, Adarsh. And
So this is how it is.
yeah, you want to answer anything, Adarsh, or we can give a LinkedIn. They will ask you the
Yeah,
questions
I can
directly.
send my email ID and I'll revert on that. And LinkedIn also they can
Yes.
contact me.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Hi, folks. Actually, you asked a brilliant questions, and for the time constraint, you can ask directly to Adarsh. I will bring you uh, the LinkedIn profile, and Adarsh also sharing his email address and LinkedIn, and you can directly ask the questions. And now we all had a great session of live BPT and BPT, and you all had a nice knowledge on that. So to test, and we have a one quiz thing, and you all guys can join, and we will have two questions, but it will also be tricky, and you can also come and enjoy the quiz. And I will share the quiz pin. You can all join in that. Yeah, and you can share your feedback also to the Hathi Mary and Krishna Bal, and I will share their LinkedIn profile also. Before Hathi Mary told you can ask anything you want to share, you can share to Happy Mary, and I will I will share my screen to give the quiz thing. For wait for 2 seconds, I will start the quiz. It's actually loading for 2 minutes. Yeah, you guys can see my screen. Is it visible? If it is visible, you can all. I will ping the ID and the number two. Come and join the, yes, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, it's all coming and joining. Yeah, yeah. I already shared this email. You want, I will share again. This is the pin, you can directly join. It's 29 people so joined already. um, I will give you 2 more minutes. If you guys want to join the quiz, you can quickly join. We will gonna start our quiz as soon as possible. Only 33. Here we have 62. So at least I'm expecting 40. 34 are there. 35. That's great. 36. Sunil joined. Finally. Yes. Akash also joined. Raval. Yeah, that's nice. 39 came. 40. That's nice. That was a nice count. Okay. Okay. We will start the quiz right now. And all the members can be ready with your answers. And I will gonna start my quiz. Yes. Yeah. We have 40. That's great. Here we're gonna have our first question, Masterclass 1.2, 2, 1, go. The quiz is came. What does BPT stand for in OutSystem development? Here's the answers. Many people's answering so quickly, that's nice. The timer is going on. 34 members list, yeah. Nice. 2, 1. Here we go. The answer is that's great. Binary process technology. 15 members told very rightly. That's nice. Next, we go for the next thing. In our scoreboard, Mayur has scored first place and Tufu scored second and Akash is third. We will see other people have the chances too. So next question. What is a human activity in the context of OutSystem BPT? Here are the answers. That was very quick answers. That's great. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. The answer is yes, 34 people answered very nicely. That's great. Here we have Tuhu Khan as a first place, and we have Mayur and Faizan. That's great. Up to 3 places. Pawan is the highest climber. That's great, Pawan. Congratulations. The next question is true or false? BBD process can run 20 parallel threads per server by default. True or false? Yeah, that's nice. Nice. Great. All the 40 are answered. That's nice. I understand the speed of your thing. Yeah, great. Yeah, 19 members answered very correctly. That's great. Who is the first now? Always Tufukan has a first place and Prez is second and Akash is third. And Neha is a highest climber now, right now. And others, please start doing the quiz rightly. And what is the primary purpose of BPT in OutSystems? Yeah. That was fast. It's nice. 3, 2, 1. The answer is yeah, 30 members answered very nicely. So we can see the scoreboard now. Oh, sorry, I second the. Sorry. What is the requirement of entities to be chosen in the process enabled for line process execution? Three, two, one. Yeah, 27 people's answered rightly. The next is we can see the scoreboard. Yes, Akash is first right now, and Saad is a second, and Agarwal is third place. And we have someone place reached the streak 4. That's great. And we'll go for the sixth question. How can you include automatic activities in a process flow? Here we have options, and many people answer so quickly. That's great. That's nice. That was a good count. 3, 2, 1. The answer is, yeah, 31 people answered very rightly that by dragging and dropping in onto the process flow. That's great. Scoreboard. Akash is again first and Sarit second. Third is Agarwal. And players answer streak 5. That's nice. So we go for the seventh question. Which process element allows you to run logic in the background without user interaction? Here we have the options. Many players very happily and quickly answering the questions. That's great. 3, 2, 1. The answer is yes, automatic activity. 30 people answered very correctly. The scoreboard is Akash is again first and Sad and second, and Agrawal is third, and Prabhu K is making comeback with third in a row. That's nice, Prabhu. Congratulations. And we have eighth question. What is the purpose of a allow skip property in a wait activity? Here we have the options. The race is very good. Yes, we have 3, 2, 1. The answer is 90 people answered very good. Yeah, to allow skipping the wait activity programmatically. That's nice. We can go for the scoreboard. Who's first? Yeah, Sadis get first and Akash went second and Faizan went third. And Akash is the highest answer streak of 8. Congratulations, Akash. And we have ninth question. How many outcomes can a decision activity have? Here we have the options. Yes, answers are coming so fastly. That's great. 36, 37, 39. So 3, 2, 1. Answer is yes, it depends upon the specific implementation. 26 people answered very correctly. So the scoreboard is yes, again Sad is first and Akash is second and Faizan is third. And 3 players just hit a strike for 8. That's great for the 3 players. Congratulations. And we have a final question. 10th question. Here we decide the members who gonna take the what advantage does OutSystem BPT offer in application development? Plays us very fast because the seconds is still we have 3 and 2 and 1. The answer is yes, 35 members answered very correctly, streaming their complex business process workflows for simplicity. That's nice. Here we gonna see the first, second, and third place. Third, who is third? Faizan is third, Akash is second, the first member. We all have to know who's the first. Yes, Saad is the first. Congratulations for all the winners. And runner-up is Mayur and Gayatri. Congratulations for them also. And I want send your LinkedIn. The winners have to send your LinkedIn thing in the chat box. I need them. Please kindly send that. It will be helpful for us. Please kindly send that. Yeah. So here we had that great session. And thank you so much for Adarsh for the great session, which is masterclass. And in masterclass, you give the BPT and live BPT. That was a great session. All our fellow peoples enjoyed the session and answered very quickly. And that was a great session. We will next we will meet in the another session of masterclass 1.3, and the updates will be coming soon, and the videos is recorded and it will also come in YouTube in 2 3 days, and you can see the updates in the user group. Regularly follow the user group. That will be nice for me. And one more second, without before ending it, I need all the who are the winners. I need the LinkedIn profile, so it will be useful to us. Please kindly send that YouTube link. It will be very useful to us. Can you please? Akash and Faizan, can you send your IDs? It will be helpful for us. Yeah, Faizan, send me the LinkedIn. Thank you so much. That's great. And one more, Akash. Yes, Akash also sent the thing. That's great. Thank you for your time. That's really great for me. And thanks for joining in the late time also. That's really nice of you guys. And thank you from our user group team and OutSystems also. Thank you. That was a great thing. Thank you so much.